Now the points of real difference, what are the only points of real differences between the Muslim and the Christian is this, are these. Number one, the Muslim says that Jesus is not God. Number two, the Muslim says that Jesus is not the begotten Son of God because God does not beget. The Muslim says that God is not a triune God because there is no such thing as 3 in 1 and 1 in 3. The Muslim says that Jesus Christ was not killed nor crucified and hence he was not resurrected. There is no such thing as a resurrection. These are points of real differences between the Muslim and the Christian. But believe me, Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, that this wide gulf between the Muslim and the Christian, between Islam and Christianity, is being rapidly bridged. The Christians are coming towards Islam. I'm not talking about the cultists. I'm talking about the learned men of Christianity who are described in the Holy Quran in these beautiful words. I'm quoting from Surah Ma'idah, chapter 5, verse 85. It says, وَلَتَجِدَنَّ أَقْرَبَهُمْ مَوَدَّةً لِلَّذِينَ آمَنُوا الَّذِينَ قَالُوا إِنَّا نَصَارَى. And nearest to them, among them in faith, in love, and nearest among them in love to the believers, to the Muslims, will thou find those who say, we are Christians. ذَلِكَ بِأَنَّ مِنْهُمْ كِسِّيسِينَ, because amongst them are men devoted to learning. Among the Christians, says the Holy Quran, are men devoted to learning. وَرُهْبَانًا, and men who have renounced the world. وَأَنَّهُمْ لَا يَسْتَكْبِرُونَ, and people who are not arrogant. Abdullah Yusuf Ali, the commentator of this translation which I was showing it to you, in his note number 789 on this verse comments. He says, the meaning is not that they call themselves Christians, but they are such sincere Christians that they appreciate Muslim virtues, as did the Abyssinians to whom Muslim refugees went during the persecution in Mecca. They would say, it is true we are Christians, but we understand your point of view, and we know you are good men. Abdullah Yusuf Ali concludes that these Christians, they are Muslims at heart. That these Christians, they are Muslims at heart, never mind whatever label they apply for themselves. And I can give you many examples from history of this type of good learned men among the Christians. But time is short, so let me give you some brief references from recent times. Number one, in the Time magazine, July 15, 1974, there were a series of essays under the heading, Who are History's Great Leaders? And among the contributors, there is one, James Gavin, described as a retired commander-in-chief of the American Army. This James Gavin, in his list of the greatest leaders, he says, number one, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And number two, he puts his own Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, number two. Then, in America again, an American by the name of Michael H. Hart of the Hart Publishing Company, described as an astronomer and a mathematician. This man, he writes a book of 572 pages, giving the most influential men in history from the time of Adam up to current times. And in his list of 100 most influential men, he puts the Holy Prophet of Islam, Muhammad, number one. And surprisingly, he puts his own Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, number three. Then that is going a bit far. coming back to our own country, the charming Bill Chalmers, he will be on TV tonight, on what is called Cross Questions. He will be on TV tonight. This Bill Chalmers, at the end of a lively debate on the subject of Islam and Christianity, the very subject of this afternoon's discussion. It was on SABC TV, Islam and Christianity. He commented at the end of the talk in these charming words.
Well, I think it can be said from this discussion that there is, at present, somewhat more accommodation on the Islamic side for the founder of Christianity than there is on the Christian side for the founder of Islam. What the significance of that is, we leave it to you, the viewer, to determine. But I do hope you will agree with us that it's a good thing that we are talking together.
He said, I think it can be said from this discussion, referring to the discussion on TV, that there is at present somewhat more accommodation on the Islamic side for the founder of Christianity than there is on the Christian side for the founder of Islam. That there is more tolerance, there is more compassion on the Islamic side for Jesus Christ than there is on the Christian side for the founder of Islam. He said, what the significance of that is, we leave it to you, the viewer, to determine. But I do think you will agree with me that it is a good thing that we are talking together. Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, you are all privileged to see that videotape of that meeting, Islam and Christianity, that great debate that took place on TV. You are privileged to see that tape absolutely free of charge on VHS or Betamax, whatever you choose, whatever format, absolutely free of charge. If you want to see it, you can see it. You can get it from the propagation center. But you will have to put with us 25 rand security deposit. Because after giving this tape to you, we haven't got the manpower to start running behind you to find out where you are with this tape. So you leave with us 25 rand security. After a week, you return it and take your money back in full. We don't hire it, we will lend it to you. And on this program, you will see something more than what Bill Chalmers tells you. You see, you will find on this tape the reason why Bill Chalmers says, that there is more sympathy from the Islamic side than there is on the Christian side towards Islam. You will find a classical example of a sickness. You see, there is a current sickness prevailing among the Christians of the world. They call it a born again. It's a cult that has been created recently, where they now say that, look, previously with the disciples of Jesus, they had the Spirit with them, but now they say we have it in us. The Spirit is in them, inside, fills them up. And I had one of these sick person coming to my office, wanting to share this sickness with me. I asked him, now you have the Spirit in you? He said, yes. I said, it permeates every fiber of your being. He said, yes. So I said, you can't be tempted. If the Spirit of God fills you up, is there room for the devil to get in? He says, no. So I said, you can't be tempted. He says, no. So I said, congratulations. Congratulations. I said, you're greater than your own God. You're greater than your own Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, because Jesus Christ was tempted by the devil, and you can't be tempted. Amazing. You can't be tempted, but Jesus was tempted. She said, no, I can also be tempted. Then I said, in that case, you haven't got the Spirit. She says, either way, if you have the Spirit, then you are greater than Jesus. Because Jesus was tempted, his